Start streaming. Okay, pal. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
And welcome to episode 59.
You had to look at the screen.
Yeah, I always have to look at the screen. Welcome to Chinwag number 59. I'm Zahir. This is Rebecca. It's our weekly chat, as most of you will know. So, yeah, I've just come off watching Caroline and Carla.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm just gonna pause this, make sure nothing comes up. That's fine. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on our video and audio. So if you guys can let us know if the video and audio sounds good.
It's saying it's okay, but
yeah,
it's normally.
Yeah, it says it's okay, but then it said it was good. So we're hoping it's going to be an okay quality stream. Let's just get into this. Yeah, so we are. I'm a bit lost for words today. Actually, a bit of a slow start, but I'm going to look at the title, and that's going to help me out. So we're going to talk about eBay sales.
We've got to talk about something. We can't sit here for an hour talk. Just in silence going.
Well, no, we can't be in silence. That would be pretty bad. So we're going to try the best. So we'll try our best. So we're going to be talking about eBay sales, a store update, and fighting the hoarder mentality. That is going to be the next topic that we are touching on, and something we're dealing with. We'll pop into the chat and say a few hellos. We've currently got about 37 people watching, which is fantastic. We have got Peter Ray in, Bum Crack Picker, Docty Doodle Doo, Southwest Sellers, Indie Chick has joined us as well, Peter Cummins. Thank you everyone for popping in. Karen No Crafts as well. Caroline has joined us as well. Hope you're having a lovely evening with Carla. Caroline, it certainly looks like it's gotten off on the right foot. I'm sure the tequila shots will be out soon, and that should be a fun evening. Right, Jay Resells has joined us, Celtic Traders as well, Al's Attic, Callum Tucker, Stephen Bennett, lots of people. Thank you everybody for popping in. I'm not going to go through everyone's name because then it takes a long time, and then people watching the replays will be like,
Okay.
What?
Just quickly, Karen's question. Zahir, where has all the epic stock that was behind you gone?
It's still here. It is just there. That's why there's like a shadow on you. See, there's a shadow. Yeah, we need to.
Quite tall.
Yeah,
so,
we need to sort that.
It's not gonna fall. Actually,
it won't fall. We're gonna.
But yeah, they're right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to change things around with the lighting when we do this, because you're clearly in the shadow, but you're in my shadow anyway. Because I'm so epic, right? So.
Caroline says it's not me, it's Carla.
Oh, it's Carla. Caroline says I'm cooking. Oh, okay. Hi, Carla. How are you? So I'm having the best night of my life, says Carla. Okay. So we like I said, we've got a little topic to talk about, fighting the hoarder mentality. We've got a few updates to make as well. Beck is under the shadow of all the blue boxes. This one's me, says Carla. Yes, we know. All right. We had a bit of a move around. There was a lot of stock in really awkward places.
It was. It was annoying you being there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So it just I fancied a change, and I think it's a bit better this way. We're gonna go with that. Indie Chick says cracking sell with the thin Lizzy coat, so pleased for you. Thank you very much.
I can't believe you had to ask whether to accept the offer though.
I did. I asked Rebecca, and then I asked Nick and Andrea to see what they thought as well. Nick especially, because he's quite good at just saying, just take the money.
Get your money.
I did ask because, you guys can watch the video. The video's on the channel. I had a really nice sale with a Thin Lizzy tour jacket, which I picked up on the Sunday, and it sold, which was really cool. Al's Attic asks, any more sales, Carla? Yes, that's gonna wind her up if you ask her that kind of question. She was getting pretty worked up, but she did get a sale live with the victory lap and everything. So, so we're gonna get into it. and take you through what we've done this week. It's been a pretty good week for us, so I'm not trying to rub that in, Carla, but it's been a good week for us. And mainly it's been because of like the higher ticket items.
Yeah, definitely.
We've had a few decent value sales. I mean, it's not just one sale, but it's been a number of sales that have come through that I think have been pretty decent, and it just adds up nicely. And then we've had a lot of like RC parts as well. But I mean, I've picked out just a couple of sales that I think might be worth sharing with you guys. That I was okay with. So let's just switch over, and I can show you like highlights, I suppose, of this week's sales, and like some of the things we sold. So I'm just going to show you guys the sales report. Bar to these good weeks, says Carla. Well, everyone deserves a good week now and then, so we're having.
You never know. We'll probably have a rubbish.
It's week. Not exactly. It's not long. So we've had some shockers, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've had some shockers.
I think it's Black Friday next week, isn't
it? Is
it?
So,
yeah.
Do you reckon we're gonna suffer, or do you think we're gonna be okay?
Well, I've been holding out on buying stuff.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Anyone on here used the Freestyle Libre? I'm not sure what that is, Corinne. Hi, Corinne, by the way.
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. Let's just switch off. Caroline's shouting Carla for some reason.
Yeah, I think it was something.
Oh, is it because Carla's been typing, I've got such an itchy bottom on her account? Yeah, exactly. Carla, Carla's back on Caroline's account there. Carla is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I love her. Wow. You heard it here, guys. All right. Don't jinx it, guys, says Peter A. It's not about you just take the rough with the smooth.
Absolutely.
One thing we've learned when it comes to working this year especially, I mean, this could be a topic in and of itself, really, is how to cope with the ups and downs of your sales. When you're working, you get a very steady income. You get a steady amount of money coming in every week or every month without fail. As long as you don't lose your job, you know what you're going to be earning. And even when you get a pay rise, it's never an extravagant pay rise. Your boss doesn't often come to you and say, you were on 25k a year and now you're on 50. It's more like you were on 25k a year, well done for all your effort. We're pleased to announce that we're upping your salary to 25.5 or something like that, right? That's what tends to happen, very incremental. And I think when we switched to, like when we started doing this, it's one of the hardest things that we've coped with is how up and down it can be. We are very much enjoying the sales we're getting at the moment. And it's like, but we have to remember a couple of things. We are in the middle of November. So if it's not going to be good now, then, when is it going to be good? Especially depending on the types of items that we sell on the main store. It has to be a good time, really. And just thinking back, it wasn't long ago. Like, I remember our videos in like February and March. We were just depressing to watch. I think we were
earlier on in the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean the sales. I remember every week coming on and being like,
it's been rubbish again.
Yeah, it's been rubbish. Sales have been slow, and do you remember those?
Yeah.
I mean, they were pretty.
Yeah. I can't believe we were coming on every week.
Yeah, some of the weeks back then, we really did, if we're honest, we did actually say, are we seriously going to go on live and, be positive and happy when things are like so down. And it was because things were so down in the end that we went on, because it was so positive and happy. And you guys have been so supportive in the chat as well. It's been so nice to be able to talk with you guys and just bounce back and forth with you guys, and it's really nice. And that's what's that helps us actually when it was.
It did actually. It did help us come on and talk to you guys.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Peter Cummins says, I made £7.27 yesterday. Yes, a whole £7.27. I went to buy a Crunchy to celebrate. That's obviously not good that it's not happened, but I'm sure it will get better.
The Crunchy would cheat you off, though.
Karin's not feeling well, is it? I think a few people are mentioning.
Is she not?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Anyone on use Supersaturated Libre? Oh, that was what Corin first said, and then just scroll down. Oh, gosh. Well, oh, continuous glucose monitoring. Oh, have I missed something? Yeah, better. Yeah. And kicking debt's ass, Becca Bamba, and now I figured out how to change my name on here. I'm on a roll. Well, that's brilliant, Becca. That's actually really cool. I mean, Beck's actually shown me your Instagram. Is that right? And it's really inspiring.
Are you following it?
I need to. I don't know. I might be following. I can't remember. I'm not very good with Instagram. I try it and do it and I forget. But yeah, I definitely, we're going to be following that because there's a lot we can learn because obviously we still have our own financial trials to be going through with, to say the least. Right. Okay, let's just scroll down. It's hard going having a thing stuck in your arm, having bad hypos. It makes you feel very tired. Oh, that does sound really rough, doesn't it? Definitely. 59 Chinwags and Z is still moaning, says Southwest. Says, I'm not moaning. I'm like, mega happy. What's the matter? What are you checking? No? Okay. Not a great week for me either, says Richard Payne. My slowest since going full-time in July. Might just hit £600 turnover for the week. That's the thing. It's like I said, one of the hardest things is dealing with this roller coaster ride. We went from a stage where I think February, March was terrible, and then we suddenly started to have really good sales.
I think we were talking about this during the week because we were actually checking back over our figures, and we were like, oh my goodness, February was awful for us.
February was terrible for us. I think in February our whole turnover for the month was like 2,300. That's turnover. So if you take, if you just work on the basis that you're only at most going to be making 50% profit, it's very easy to see why Beck was happy to get back into some hours at work, and that really did help. That was a rough month.
It was, but then the following
month were like
crazy.
Yeah, then they were like 5k months or something suddenly, and because we had a good haul of stuff, and so it's something to just bear in mind. Polar Check says eBay is like a roller coaster. Irregular income is no good. Cannot plan anything ahead, really. Very true, Polar Check. So the I suppose the aim of the game is to try to somehow regulate the income, and I suppose that's where people say, well, if you have a certain amount of inventory, or you get a certain amount of activity, or you do certain things, you try to regulate it as much as you can. Or obviously supplementing the income. We found that by doing a little bit of Amazon on the side as well has been really nice.
We'll talk about it a little bit later actually, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. I'll move that closer. Sorry, I'm speaking really quiet.
Super quiet. Sorry. And then people complain like that I'm loud and you're not.
Yeah. You just got a louder voice.
No, you speak really softly.
Okay. Fine.
Right. Falling on a Bruce says, I'm annoyed. Sold a horrid Henry for £35. Paid £1. Got it out to pack and didn't work. Cancelled order. Husband cleaned battery. Now works fine. Oh, that is very irritating. Yeah. That is really, really bad. How did you cancel the order? Did you say that cancelled because the customer asked? Because that would probably be the best way to do it. Right. Great sale on the jacket, says Karen as well. Thank you. Ray asked, do you monetize YouTube videos? Yes, we do, Ray. Yeah, we do. That's why you get all the ads and things. Yeah. Nick has said, hi Nick, not having a set regular income is one of the hardest parts of this business and lifestyle. It takes a long time to get used to. Yeah, and that's definitely what we found. I mean, definitely. Like I said, we've actually had a good week. We're 15 minutes in already. Let's just switch. Yeah, let's just switch it over to the relevant page. Pow! Look at that. There we go. Right. This is our last 7 days. On eBay, so from the 10th of November to the 17th. So
it's not cutting off the screen at all.
Yeah, well, it's not actually including. Yeah, let me just change that a little bit. Shall I make it? I'll bigger it. I'll smaller it. I'll smaller it. We're smaller now. There you go. Look at that. There you go. Right. So this is just our last 7 days on eBay on the main store. as you can see, it again, roller coaster is the word.
It's very up and down.
Yeah, we had this doesn't include today. No, it only goes up until the 16th.
Yeah.
So you've got from November the 10th to November the 16th, and you can see this is a really good example of how crazy it can be. We had a decent start, £155 day. Then the next day is a £48 day. Bear in mind that's just turnover, right? So that's you're making like 20 quid or something, or 30 quid that day if you're lucky. Not very good, right? And that's when alarm bells can start ringing, especially when a couple of those rack up together. Then today was the 12th was a £250 day, which was better. That's good. And then the 13th, £94, so under 100. We want to get at least 100 bare minimum, because even on turnover that's only a 50 quid day, and you can't really, that's not enough. So they go £75, 89. This day is a bit ski whiff. Karen says, looks like my blood sugars right now. That looks very up and down. I get it. Yeah. That is that day there, as you can see, it's a £570 day, but that includes the jacket sale, which actually happened, I believe, on the 15th, because the customer didn't pay until the following day.
He didn't pay straight away, so
he paid the next day. Early in the morning.
The money didn't go into PayPal.
So that's why that bar is huge at 570. But then that day should have been a much better day, and then that would still have been a good day.
Stephen Moss just got a quick question. How do you get that chart on eBay, please?
You don't. This is on PayPal, guys. If you have a business PayPal account, what you do is you go into your business PayPal account, and then there's an option called I think it's an activity or something. Under activity there's a bunch of options, and there's one called charts and graphs, and that shows you, and it's really good because it actually shows you the number of transactions carried out. So that says 9 because we got 9 there. We only had 2 transactions that day, 5 on that day for only 75 quid, 5 on that day for 94, 5 on that day, 2 and 4. So we don't do a lot of transactions.
Yeah, there's not a great deal of transactions.
But we rely we rely obviously on the high ticket stuff, don't we? So we've also had hopefully a nice sale this evening, but we're not sure whether it's going to stay a nice sale.
We're waiting to hear, because
someone bought
something
nice item, but
we're just waiting for the message to see whether he still wants to go ahead with it
with the sale or not. Because I'm not sure if they fully
read
it was
the description,
or if it wasn't clear for them or whatever. Right, so that was the week's sale, so we're pretty happy. So can't complain too much with that week. Pretty good. Let's just switch back and go into the comments. Peter says that's a Thin Lizzy day. Gotta be. Well, like we said, Peter, it's actually the day before that was the Thin Lizzy day, but the payment went through the next day. Right. Thanks guys, as well as Nick and Andrea, for helping me see that teamwork with my fiance can make a huge difference and can also be extremely fulfilling. Cheers to you guys. That's very kind of you to say, CTYL. Thank you. I've learned, Heather says, okay, I've learned to just not spend like I did when I had an outside job. I think that's in response to a question about how do you cope with the up and downs in terms of finding Indie Chick asked that, didn't she? Yeah, it's just a case of thinking ahead with the money you get, knowing that you've had a good day, but you're only as good as your last day. I think that's the key, isn't it? You're only as good as your last day. You're not ever that was like something we used to say in sales. If you'd had a really good sales day, you wouldn't come in the next day like all pumped up about previous day's work. You'd get pumped up about the new day's work because your previous days, that is your previous day. So you always have to approach every day fresh, and it's just the way to go.
The second part of Indie Chick's question was, do you have a safety net?
The
safety net we're trying to work on more of a safety net, aren't we? We don't want to be so reliant on eBay.
We need a safety net.
We're still working on
We're still working. Yeah, guys.
Is the answer.
Like a lot of people say, everyone's position is different. Yeah. So some people would probably be able to manage on what we're making on eBay comfortably. Mm-hmm. We can't. We've got commitments and costs that we need to. Debts we need to sort out. Everyone's in a different situations, and I think that's really important to bear in mind. Stack Smart says best week ever last week, £1,100, first one over £1,000. Congratulations, Stack Smart. I hope it's the first of many. Yes. Right. Nick has a question. Who would you use to ship some skis? Thinking standard UPS through Parcels to Go. You might actually find that Parcel Force will be the best option.
Yeah, because I think when we had the snowboard, I don't think you used UPS. I think you used Parcel Force.
Yeah, I think because Parcel Force have quite a good length, a length option, but it depends really, because I think eBay do give you discounts on some of the Parcel Force shipping, so it really does depend. Right. Let's just scroll down. Okay. Right. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
I don't know if you can hear this.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. We've kind of had like. Are we going to let him get on? No. Yeah. Oh, he's too big for that. Oh. There we go. Yeah, we may as well introduce our new friend. We didn't want to make like a show about him, so we didn't want to.
You'll notice we've had to leave the door open because he's really new to the house at the moment.
This is Alfie.
We've got to let him have a bit of a run.
Exactly.
But this is Alfie.
He's our puggle, rescue dog. He's lovely. We love him very much.
He's 3 years old.
We only got him this week.
Yeah, it was his first night in the house last night.
Yeah, so it's very, very new. And getting up on laps is not allowed, so we're breaking
a bit of a rule.
Yeah, so he has to go.
So you're going to get down, aren't you?
Yeah, we go. Good boy.
There we go.
He's epic, but yeah.
Good boy.
Okay.
We're going to have to move
we're going to have to move the mic up again, yeah. So, it's just, we thought you might have heard him anyway, so may as well say hi.
Snorting.
Yeah, he's a bit of a snorter.
He is.
BCP says that's a big cat. Right, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. He's cute. He's lovely. His name's Alfie. Yeah, he's epic. We do love him very much. We're smitten.
Yeah, we're trying not to be too soppy with him as well, because we have been told he needs to know his boundaries. So.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's get back to sales. He seems considerably calmer than Buddy, says Carla. He's actually pretty chilled out.
He has. We've worn him out a bit today. I mean, he's due to go out for another walk in a bit.
Yeah, but, we are. Short-haired Abyssinian tat hound, says Stu Mandry. Didn't think these videos could get any better than Alfie's. Thank you, guys. Hope the landlord's not watching. We got permission. Yeah, we got permission.
Got permission. They're changing our contract slightly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We would never as tenants take that liberty.
Honest, when they live across the road, it's a bit hard to hide a dog.
Guys, we may not have mentioned this to you, but our landlords literally live across the road from us. So
obviously Nick and Andrea know because they come up here.
So there's no way we would have gotten away with just sneaking the dog in anyway. So we asked them, and they're really cool. So they've just been epic, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been fantastic.
So we can't complain. Question Z, what's it all about? Says Jason Myland. That's a good question. I'll let you know when I find out, because I certainly don't know.
And Karen Fisher, yes,
what's a puggle?
Half pug, half beagle. Yeah.
Yes, he is a pug beagle. Yeah. You could dress it up as a baby. Wow, that would be some hell of a baby.
Wow. That would.
Okay. Right, guys. Now let's move on to the sales, guys. So we've shown you like the sales graph.
Yeah.
Electronic Firing Squad, Brian says, hi, I hate graphs charts. Recently hired a talented tenor. I pay him to sing the daily sales numbers to me. Also, he performs listed totals and results of inventory testing worth every penny.
Oh,
that's amazing.
Maybe you could do that.
That's amazing.
You could sing the sales.
I don't think so. I don't think.
Here, what are the sales up to?
Yeah.
You just start singing.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Nick says, you will find Alfie is more popular than you guys. Monty West steals the show when he appears on our feeds. And Corin says, woke up this morning and my naughty Monty was asleep on his back, legs in the air between us. Lol. Oh, yeah. Puggle is a dog that can't do magic. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that one as well.
Right, now Peter says, yeah, who are those two people who talk about reselling on Monty's channel? Yeah. Okay. We're going to show you just a couple of sales. For those of you that haven't seen the Thin Lizzy sale, here it is. This is the Thin Lizzy jacket. You can see I was asking, a lot of money for it.
I like the way you laugh and go, I was asking a lot of money.
We paid £20 for this jacket. For those of you that don't know, we paid £20. I put it up for sale on like Monday and then it sold on Wednesday. And it's just,
Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. It's a really cool jacket. So yeah, we sold it. We took an offer. We didn't get 500. We took an offer on it for was it 350? Yeah, or 300.
300, wasn't it?
300. I think it was. Yeah, 300, not 350. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was the big sale of the week. Another one that was quite cool was this one. I showed you guys recently an amplifier that I sold for £60. I bought the amplifier and this CD player for £10, and he's knocked my mic thing off the thingy and it's bothering me. There we go. That's fine.
The little.
Yes, he has. Yeah. Bless him. Okay. Yeah, and we sold the amplifier for 60, and this is the CD player, and that sold for £50. So for a fiver to 50, that was. So a basic Technic CD player made in Germany. Nothing spectacular. It's not particularly. This isn't what you'd call high end, guys. So sometimes people, when they're talking about hi-fi, they kind of get confused as to what is considered high end. This is a good CD player for a good system. It wouldn't be considered high end. It wouldn't be considered audiophile or anything along those lines. But from a fiver to £50, I'm very happy with it. Nick says, love how you asked $4.99 like a boss. Go big or go home. It's so cool. I would pay you your ask. I would pay that for a Moz one if you ever see one in the wild. Well, I'll keep an eye out, Indie Chick. Hitman says, got to work. Just popped in to say hi to everyone. I'll watch back later. Fantastic. Question: does Alfie get on with the cat? Alfie gets on with all pets. The cat is currently not a fan.
Not a fan of him.
She's keeping her distance at the moment, but she'll be fine.
She'll be fine in,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a few weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, she'll be fine. She's very. Yeah, she takes her time, doesn't she?
She does take her time. She's even when we moved, it took her probably about a month to adjust to the new house, didn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, she's one of those.
Also, here is another one. This is quite a good sale. I think it was Gary Wooten in the chat who shared that they had sold a Toshiba hard drive recorder DVD player that they bought for a fiver for £230, which is an epic sale. And I think there was one of the questions on there was is it only recording machines which sell for good money? I think Gary did reply saying actually you can get decent money for the regular combis as well, and that's what this is. This is a regular Sony DVD and VHS combi. Now it's basically a DVD player and a video player recorder. Okay, so you can only record on the video side. You cannot record on the DVD side. Now guys, when you list one of these, I would strongly urge you, in capitals if need be, to point out this machine does not copy from DVD to video, because believe it or not, a lot of people will assume that because you've got the two technologies there, a video and a DVD together, it must do video to DVD as well. People just assume it. I remember when these machines first came out, there was so much confusion amongst the buying public about that, and even now you can get a lot of confusion about it, can't you? So when you're listing these, just cover yourself and just explain.
I'm just confused about what you're talking about anyway.
Really? Well, it's a video and a DVD.
Yep.
People assume that you can buy this, put a video or your old VHS tapes in there and copy them. So for example, old home videos, and copy them onto DVD. They will assume that it can do that. So it's best, even if the machine doesn't if the machine doesn't do it, it's best to just point it out. And I think actually on this listing I did put note this unit does not allow you to record onto DVD. I put that in like capitals just to kind of clarify it, because it's not worth the headache. So I only wanted to show like those sales because those are the ones that stuck out for us really. Right, okay, let's pop into the chat again. Peter says dog loves cat hates dog, business as usual. So how you think Alfie will be with all your items, says Peter. I think
he's been okay so far, and he hasn't
shown any bad habits yet. But obviously we're expecting,
and he's fairly new, and they did say
the sanctuary did say that actually you have to, like, in a week he might start pushing boundaries.
He's probably going to start pushing us a bit. So
but to be fair, we're always around, so I don't see it being an issue. And he doesn't seem very interested in that stuff, to be honest. He doesn't seem we got him a cool chew toy that he loves, so he's been playing with that. All right. Question from Stack Smart: given that you list quality stuff, do you think that if you double your listings, you will double your turnover? I don't think you can ever double your turnover by doubling your listings. I think that would be quite impressive. I think that's but you can certainly it depends really. It depends on how much money you've got to invest in stock. Actually, guys, I was watching there's a couple of US resellers that have made videos about this recently. Bonafide Hustler made a video about this, and recently there's a guy called Prof Sales with his wife Karen as well. And if you guys haven't, subscribe to them, find their channels and subscribe to them. Prof Sales is fantastic. Bonafide Hustler is fantastic as well. And they've both made videos about this, not fallacy, but this kind of this idea that all you have to do is list, you have to do is list. And Prof Sales made a really nice point actually in his video that whilst listing is part of it and you can't ignore the listing, that it's part of a number of things that you need to do to get sales, because otherwise logically you heard what he said, didn't you? Like, it was saying you've only got a certain amount of space.
Yeah, he said it was a case of there's two main issues. You're either going to run out of space or run out of money. Yeah,
run out of space, run out of money, or even run out of time, because even if you've got space and money, you physically there's only so much time to list these things. So you kind of have to balance that. It's not just about doing lots and lots of listings, so you do have to have that quality factor in there. And I think I do get some nice items in on the main store. It does help, doesn't it?
It does.
So it's something that we're going to do, but it will be really difficult because I'm quite the optimist, but I think the facts are, to get a store full of quality items is a lot more difficult. It's doable though. I refuse to accept that you can't do it, because there are people that are doing that very thing. But I think it takes a long time, possibly depends on your luck, I suppose. On what
it's like with anything. There's always two ways to look at it, and there's always going to be people that believe in one, and people that believe in another side. So at the end of the day, it's whatever works for your own business and what you're doing, and the way and where you want to take your business as well.
I think you should always have
important to kind of remember.
You should always have the direction of quality over quantity anyway, shouldn't you? I think because you've got to value your time. The one thing that you can't get more of is time. That's the thing you have to remember. Out of space, out of money, and out capital, space, time. The only thing that you can't get any more of, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much space you have, you're not going to be able to get more time. And so therefore time is the most valuable thing, and I think it does pay to remember that. Sometimes it's easy to forget that because we're human. But and because if you think about it logically, obviously if time is the only thing you can't get back, then you have to value it. Then really it has to be a bunch of high value items. Right. Karen says, I've asked all my family if they have any old electronics they don't want, or thin Lizzy jackets, as Saz guessed. It's it's quite funny. Peter says, good point, Z. So many people assume it can record from DVD to VHS. Lisa says, I just wanted to get rid of all my stuff. Bumcrack Pippa says, I done a sponsored walk once and had a Sony, so people started calling me Sony Walkman. Very good, I think. Nick says, great tip, so easy for people to get confused. Defo says, Peter Ray. Karen says, Karen Me Too says, Sib K, rather come back with 5 good items than 20 meh items. Yeah, and Stack Smart is also aiming to achieve that as well. Yeah, it's one of those things to do. Right. Told my mum Zahir mentioned me on this vid and said I am inspirational, so she now thinks I'm famous. You are famous. You are very inspirational. We love watching your Instagram. Yeah. Question: do you have a bite now on Alfie? Says Stephen Moore. Nope. No. Missing any slippers? Any little presents left for you? Says others. None not so yet. Far. Okay. Okay. Hopefully Alfie's good habits will rub off on Z, says Barry.
I'm not holding my breath.
That's Alfie, like RC stuff. Yeah, no, he doesn't. Peter says love Prof Sales. Yeah, Prof Sales is amazing.
Yeah. I've only just started watching him.
He's really good.
You told me about him, so yeah. I've only just started watching him.
Polar Shek says, I came to the conclusion that the clothing market middle range is super saturated. All chavs can sell on eBay. Clothing picked up from charity shops. I only hunt for outstanding rare pieces. Okay, there's nicer ways of saying things. Yeah. That's a bit offensive, Polar Shek. But I think it stands to reason that yes, you're right, that clothing is a very competitive market. It's not just here, in the States as well, isn't it? Because it's the first thing people mess with, isn't it?
I think so. I think it's the first thing that people can easily get hold of.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was first starting, the first thing that I got really... Well, I did the electronics and the stuff that I used to get from the car boot, but I quickly realised I needed more stock. And that's when I started buying clothing from auctions. So I was buying sacks and sacks of clothes. It felt comfortable. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it depending. I mean, some people do well, so I think it's about knowing what sell.
I mean, the stuff you used to get at auction was really good, though.
We used to get
We used to have to sort.
We used to chuck a lot, and then and then sell some. I think, like with anything, clothing is a market that's easy to jump into, but it's hard to master. And the people out there that have mastered it do well out of those same brands. I think the reason why they do well is the difference between a good clothing seller that sells high street and like an average clothing seller or not a great clothing seller is going to be that the good clothing seller not only knows the brands that are available but knows what people want in the moment. I think that's what you always see. I mean, if you watch Nicole State, you'll see that. I mean, she goes to the same bins as everyone else, but she knows what to pick up and sell to people, for example. And in the UK we've got lots of really successful clothing sellers. Caroline, Carla's in there as well. Andrea knows what she's doing. Soup you know, that's fake Rachel. I mean, lots of people, you know, Heather and as well, you know, so many people. Yeah. So that's just worth talking about, I think. Right. Karen No Crafts just more says, I realize that I only have space for a maximum of 800 items, so now my listings are nearly at that. I'm going to be super picky over what I pick up and if I can get an average price. I think that's a really great way to go. You know, it's very, I think that's a smart thing to do, really, because you just don't know. There's no point in just keep constantly filling your house up, because it becomes too much, doesn't it? And I think that's part of that is what you wanted to talk about tonight as well, didn't you? Yeah. What was we about
going on about? Sorry. I just saw Lisa's comment that they can see the girls behind us. They've probably realised that we've got the door open. Have made a run for it now. But
yeah, it's fine.
But so we've been talking about it for a few weeks now, haven't we?
Yeah.
I've actually stopped listing on the second store.
Yeah.
Mainly because we are going to wind down the second store and have us both working on the same one.
Yeah. Just makes more sense.
It makes more sense for us where we want to take our business.
Yeah.
Because we have been talking about not being so reliant on eBay.
Yeah. And plus to have both of us on the main store.
Yeah.
I think from, I suppose in the end, the fees perspective did play a part into it. You know, paying two lots of fees in the end didn't seem as worth it. You did really build the store up.
I did, it, you know, it's not something that I've jumped into thinking about.
No.
And it was me coming to you and actually talking to you about where I wanted to go with eBay and how much a bigger part I wanted it to play in where we head to in the future. And it was hard because I was like, I've put so much work into it.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, I felt that it was looking at the business and where it was at the moment.
Yeah.
I just felt it wasn't
doing what you expected.
It wasn't working the way I wanted it to work.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I could put a whole bunch of hard work and research into building a big second store, and then we'd have two really well functioning stores. But then I started questioning whether that's actually what I wanted to do with it, and that's where I wanted to head, because it was just getting to the point. I mean, I was touching. I'm down to, I think, because I've got a ton of relists to do because I've barely been touching it. I'm down to about 700 listings on there now, I think. But yeah, we're slowly going to be closing that account down. I'm going to be running sales. I'm not going to be doing any more listing on it. And I've been listing basically on the main store.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's always worth trying, isn't it? You went all for it. It's done something good for us, which is it's created a second store we could use if we ever needed it. If we wanted to if we find a use for it. It's given you a lot of really quick experience, hasn't it? I mean, that was one of the things, wasn't it, that was good for you? Or, I mean, did you find that at all? Or
sorry?
Did you find that at all, that it was the speed at which you learned?
Yeah, I mean, I don't regret doing the second store at all.
Yeah.
I found it a fantastic learning experience for me. I feel I learned so much quicker doing it that way, rather than kind of relying on you so much. So overall I'm really happy, and it's not going to stop me from picking up what I want to sell on the main store. If anything, it's going to kind of push me to do more, and to improve my pickups as well.
Sorry guys, I'm just typing a message, which is annoying her.
It really
is.
But
it's for a £350 sale, so
you just phoned me because you're just like just carrying on. But I have no regrets about the second store whatsoever. I found a great learning experience, and I do feel I was paying to learn how to do eBay.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I think that's the thing. If you can take it as just a lesson, I mean, Andrea has just said it makes financial sense, but it is difficult because when you have your own shop, as I did before, it was nice to have your own thing, and
and this is something. I think that's why it's taken me probably. I mean, we've been talking about this probably for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
haven't we? And this week we actually made the official decision to no. I mean, I haven't really been listening on it much in probably the last 2 weeks, really, while we were still discussing things. But so it's one of those that Indie Chicks putting there. I thought it was going well. It has been going well. The figures on the second store have been growing each month. When I've been doing the listing and doing the working on that store, so it was actually growing as a store, but it was more a decision about where we want to head with it, rather than financial kind of, because it wasn't like successful, because it was going well. It was actually improving month on month. So.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I mean, we can always. It's nice to have different options. I think, and also it's about how much time we can focus on other things as well, and how much time do we want to just spend on just eBay. Because we don't do enough. We've been talking about doing more Amazon for ages. When we do it, it really does well for us, and we just don't do it enough. Like Amazon, that is the Amazon FBA. It's just we need to do more of it.
What kind of things you're giving away there?
So that's just something to think about. And another thing, actually, question: where do you see business going? More Amazon FBA? I wouldn't say we're gonna do less eBay. We want to increase the amount of eBay we're doing.
Maybe it was the way I put it.
I don't know.
Maybe.
No, it's
but yeah, I kind of said that I didn't want to be so reliant on eBay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're stopping eBay. It means that we're still going to have eBay working, but we want to be working on it efficiently.
At the moment, eBay is like probably 90% or 95% of all our income. So we still want to grow the amount that comes in, but we want it to be more like 60% maybe, something like that, just to shrink it a little, so we're not as reliant on it, just for obvious reasons. You never want to have all your eggs in one basket, so it's just one of those things. And what we're going to do is, Nick says, always keep evolving, challenging yourselves, and never regret trying stuff. All credit to you for identifying that you need to change things up. Thanks, Nick. Dave says, so have you considered a pure RC store and a Malik store? That's something that we've thought about as well, because just the amounts we've got. So that's, but at the moment we're just gonna just pile it all on one store. Does the second store still owe you money? Says Al's Attic. It doesn't owe us.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, it doesn't owe us any money. It's just that we're paying like fees for it.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the main things. We're paying 2 sets of fees.
And also, I think Beck said to me that you can clarify if you still feel that way, but you felt that you weren't as part of the main store as you once did.
Yeah.
Which is not nice, because she came down with me to get the big RC haul. We made that decision together. We did all the hard work on bringing it up and putting it away and sorting it, and we do all of that stuff together. But then she doesn't quite get the same satisfaction of when we get a sale from something.
Like you were getting to the point where you were like,
aren't you happy about
I'm telling him when you were telling me about a sale, and I was just like, well, I'm not, because I don't feel connected to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I feel like we've been pulled in 2 different directions, because my store is working to a point where I'm trying to really build it and really grow it into something.
Yeah.
And then you obviously had the main store that was already functioning and doing so well.
Yeah.
And you just needed to kind of maintain that. So it was almost like we weren't necessarily on the same page, and when we always came into like doing this and how we imagined would be working together, to then have like our focus kind of split, it just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel right, and that's another reason why I want to kind of be on the same store again.
Exactly.
But yeah.
So it helps. Now the final thing we wanted to talk about. Wow, it's 7:50 already. One other thing we want to talk about. Ray says FBA involves a lot of paperwork, labels. It's a bit more, but it's not too bad.
Yeah.
My dog keeps freezing every time he hears claws tapping on the floor. Z says Corin. That's cool. Right. Andrew says, what other platforms are you thinking of trying to branching out to? At the moment, we'd just be happy if we did a bit more FBA, actually, Andrea.
Yeah,
we just don't do enough of it.
That's what we're looking at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Exactly.
Who knows where it'll go.
Yeah. And then Andrew says, that makes total sense when you source together. It doesn't matter who lists it. It's a shared sale. Yeah, I mean, I miss that as well. I want us to work together. It's part of the enjoyment of it, you know, and...
Yeah.
we can be on the same page, and you know, that's just how I want to do. And one thing I wanted to talk about as well, it's fighting the hoarder mentality. The reason why I put that in the title, and we've not even talked about it, and what I wanted to talk about is my terrible habit of keeping stuff that really I shouldn't be. In our current situation where we're still aiming to get ourselves financially stable, get out of the debt that we have, you know, eventually buy a house, that's still our aim, you know, we want to do all these things. It just seems daft that I sometimes keep ridiculous items. You know, like you come across a lot of cool stuff when you're sourcing, and you can easily fool yourself into thinking, wow, I got this thing for a steal, I should keep it, when in reality you shouldn't, because you wouldn't be able to buy it new, you know, and you wouldn't want to, you know, so why are you keeping it as is? I mean, there's so many things. I mean, like, for example, I've got a commercial coffee machine. It's just so extra. I mean, you know, people in mansions don't have commercial coffee machines. What the hell am I doing with a commercial coffee machine? It's just extra. You know, I just think things like that. I need to kind of. I've got Saturn games. I don't even have a Sega Saturn at the moment, but I've got really cool Saturn games. The ladders aren't being sold, Southwest sellers. So. And you know, I want to kind of focus on that. We've just sold an RC that I've been holding on to. You guys might have seen that giant low CRC I bought. I've kept it for all these months. I've just listed it, and it's just sold like that. You know, why am I, you know, keeping these things? I need to just get myself into the situation where I'm just focused much more on selling stuff. You never tell me not to, but I feel like I should. You know, like, because you don't do it anyway, do you? You don't keep stuff, really. Apart from your crazy dolls.
Apart from my crazy dolls.
Which...
They're getting sold.
They're getting sold.
Yeah,
there we go. Yeah, it's not worth it. PJ Talk says, I'd like to be a hoarder, but if it stays still long enough, Caroline lists it. Clear outs are awesome. I used to be a minimalist. Whatever happens, it's okay. Funny you should say that. That's the kind of thing that's really been attracting me. You know... I really like that idea of you know, especially now that we've got Alfie as well. We're going out a lot more. We're just walking a lot more. These things are not important. I get attached to them, and I'm like, why am I so attached to that or this stupid thing? You know, I just want to get rid of it. So why keep all the RC stuff? Sell it all, says Richard Howe. We are selling most of it anyway, Richard. But there's some stuff that I've held on to, so it's just not what I want to do. Zahir, open a shop. Zahir's lattes for you, says the husband. I'd love a shop, I tell you. Then I'd have an excuse for a machine, wouldn't I? But otherwise, why? You know, it's a commercial coffee machine.
I know.
It's not like high end because
and
it's not.
That's why it's in here and not in the kitchen.
Yeah, because it's too big to fit in the kitchen because it's the height, and then I've got it in my office, and at the moment I can't even get to it because of all the tat everywhere. So yeah, it needs to go. Polar Chick says, I treat inventory as a widget. Today I have them, tomorrow they're gone. I look at myself as a foster carer for lovely things, says Indie Chick. I get to look after them for a short amount of time so I can find a new home. Yeah, it needs to happen. Nick says, I love a good clear out. Was hoping to do a boot sale last weekend, but it didn't happen. Yeah, I think a clear out is because it clear out, it clears the mind. You just need to get rid of it.
And Heather's actually saying something similar. She's saying, I am
working on minimalist living too. Yeah. Clearing out one drawer at a time.
And I wear glasses.
Yeah, is it too small?
That's bad.
Yeah. Might need to get that
it's
checked.
where it went up and then I lost it.
Oh, so you lost it, so it wasn't that. Yeah, so
I was like, oh, I'll leave that to you.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh gosh, is that another question?
Yeah.
Is that has he sent? Because I haven't replied to him yet. I'm in the process of replying. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just my phone catching up. Yeah. I think Z will cry a little when the coffee machine goes. Yeah,
possibly.
I'm not gonna cry. No, I need to. It's a mindset thing, guys. I need to really tell myself that enough, because I've always had stuff, right? And in our current situation, it's silly. Like, you know, we need to just be focusing on building the business. It just needs to go. You know, I'm breaking the rule number 1, getting high on your own supply. You know, I'm just not, shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Right. JV says, hi guys, I'm thinking of doing FBA from Ireland. Very information on the net. Do you know any Irish sellers who do FBA from Ireland? Unfortunately, JV27, I can't help you with that. Although I would assume it can't be that difficult or different, because you can learn a lot of the stuff that the Americans do applies to us. So I'm sure it would also apply to you in Ireland. Being a reseller plus willingness to be a minimalist is a huge conflict, says Polo Shack. Have you ever really regretted selling an item, says Stu Mandry? I don't know, have I? I don't
think so.
No, I think that's the thing. When I actually sell something, you know, I realise I didn't need it. You know, it's just I get shiny object kind of.
Yeah, and then you kind of feel like you miss it.
I look at it
You're
and
going to
like,
miss it.
I'll give you guys.
I don't think you have actually missed anything.
Yeah, I'll give you guys an example. Like, I had this giant RC car. I'll make a video about it anyway, because it is a really cool setup, and I suppose because it plays into the whole minimalist thing for me. It owes me 150 quid, but if I broke something on it, I wouldn't want to pay the money it costs to repair it, because they're quite pricey to fix. So it's better off with someone else. You know, it's just, you know, what will you do for coffee though, Z? Instant, says Richard Payne. You know what, Richard? Yes, I'm gonna have to just swallow instant coffee, because guess what? 99% of people do it. When I can genuinely afford for it, because that's the thing, guys, with a proper coffee machine, you need a coffee subscription pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing getting freshly roasted coffee beans delivered to me? One day I will deserve that honor, but right now I don't feel I do. So, you know, it's just...
Reseller Mum's just answered the question regarding the...
I'm a Northern Islander. There's a great guy, Keith Cavalier. He's a YouTube channel also near Dublin, I think. Oh, thanks for that info, Reseller Mum. Okay. So hopefully JV will find that useful. Nick says, when you pick up stuff in the future you fancy keeping, ignore how cheap you bought it for. Consider the profit you will make. Keeping these items stops your business growing. I think that's a really good point. Yeah, we've just made a really nice sale this evening, because
and it's something that Nick actually told you yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Just sell it all.
guys, yeah, I do. Yeah, we speak about this stuff.
That's what he said, didn't he?
Yeah,
just sell it all.
I get packed coffee subscription, so reasonable, says Reseller Mum. Yeah, nice curtains in the far background. Laura Ashley, says Polishek. I don't know. They were here when we moved in.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure whether they're Laura Ashley.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel that it's, you know, in time, you know what, in time, that RC car, for example, it's like £600-700 new. I couldn't justify buying that new. So yeah, it's just daft really. So when the time comes, I'm sure I'll be able to have these things. You know what, I'll get a better RC car, I'll get a better coffee machine, I'll get one that gets plumbed in, but I'll need a house to put it in. So, you know, that's the way I'm thinking now. I'm fed up of seeing these material things that I get attached to. Bit I know it's a bit of a rant, but it's something that's been bothering me. I mean, you agree, don't you? Not...
Yeah, completely.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd always tell you to sell something over keeping it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're going to do.
I just always say, it's your decision.
Yeah, don't sell the landlord's curtain, says PJ Talks. No, we won't do that.
We won't do that.
Sid K says here, that point about I don't deserve it at the moment rings so true to me too. Fair enough, Z, save your money. I'm lucky I have a garage and a shed. Looking for more massive hauls next year. Better than getting one item here and there. Richard, I'm not saying about... Just to clarify, guys, hauls stock is different.
Yeah.
I will buy stock by the mountain load if I can.
Yeah.
As long as... But the point is...
This is going to be something completely different.
Yeah.
It's more personal.
Yeah, this is just about personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Ray says, what is the value of the coffee machine? I don't know, Ray. Probably a couple £100. Not a lot, but you know, I paid like 80 odd for it. I might be able to get to maybe £300. I don't know. I have to check it out, to be honest, Ray. But still, Kicking Debt's Ass, Becca Bumber says, I just listened to a finance economic podcast that was about how irrational it is that people will keep an item worth £100 because they got it cheap, but would never ever be willing to pay 100 for that. Yeah, in effect, you're paying the 100 for it as you're losing that amount on the non-sale. Very true. That's a good point. I like to keep things for a few months, enjoy them, and then be happy to let them go. Feel a bit sad seeing all the consoles go, but they were bought to resell, so it had to be done, says Nick. And I think that's the attitude I really want to learn and adopt for myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much for joining us.
Yeah.
Been a bit of a rambly chat.
It has. I feel like it's been a bit all over the place, actually.
You were a bit quiet today.
Yeah.
Give you a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that because I think it was
a bit quiet, but yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit quiet.
But you're tired and your back hurts, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need some deep heat. Thank you for joining us. We really, really enjoyed sharing our Friday evening with you. The chat was busy as usual. We've tried to get to as much of it as we can. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. We will see you guys in the next video. In the meantime, Nick and Andrea will be back on Sunday.
I think Sunday. Yes.
So we will see you guys then. So thank you for watching, guys. Okay. Actually, you're gonna have to hang around now. I'm gonna do my. Actually, ads used to do this. Okay, we're stopping the stream now.